The outcrop to be visited is located in southwest Trinidad along the Point Fortin Highway in the Grand Straits area. Before we actually get to the outcrops, let us do a literature review. The stratigraphic chart of Trinidad after Cabron and Frampton of 1979 indicates the forest formation is of Pliocene age. This slide gives us a history of the origin of the name forest and some descriptions of the formation, chief of which are bounding nonconformities and overlying thick clays. Sediments of the forest formation represent cyclical marine deposition under turbid water and clear water environments. Sandstones are strongly faucet bedded and are lenticular. In grade, they range from fine to medium grained to coarse grade and are generally poorly sorted. Carbonaceous inclusions are common, and residues from sidewall cores have yielded glauconite. The sandstones alternate with grey and buff-colored silts and blue-grey and grey-green non-calcareous claystones. The latter are frequently lignitic and are generally unfossiliferous. Slump structures are common. The maximum thickness is of the order of 2,500 feet. The boundary with the older Cruz Formation is unconformable, while that with the overlying montifer is also unconformable. This slide describes the foraminiferal assemblages used by the former Petrotrin to define the montifer, the forest, and the Cruz formations. The well log from Archie 2004 illustrates the lower part is claystone dominated, then a coarsening upward unit, then stacked block units, and finally a fining upward unit. This represents the advance, aggradation, and retreat of a delta. Here we have a series of paleogeographic maps from Barwaite of Wilson, 1958. The upper map shows sands trending in a series of southwest to northeast trending thicks and thins. The lower map highlights the distribution of oil-bearing sands. Note that they are concentrated along the Los Bajos Fault. This is a stratigraphic cross-section, also from Barwaite of Wilson of 1958, that shows the forest interval and the sand content thins northwards onto the Lot 1 anticline and Brighton High. This is a spot geological map with the location of the Outcrops on Point Fortin Highway. The major structural elements are the southwest plunging Otahiti Aripero anticline to the north, which is represented by the Cruz Outcrop, the southeast to northeast trending Grand Straits anticline. Most of the outcrop to be viewed is apparently strike parallel. On the spot map, we have plotted azimuth frequency diagrams of fractures that were mapped on the outcrop. These indicate a dominant northeast to southwest trend. The wolf net on the left is a plot of planes of structural dip measured at the outcrop. This one shows a north-northwest plunging structure, which is very different from what we see on the Kugler surface geology. Here we have drone photos of our outcrop. On the left, it is of parallel bedded southwest dipping sands and thin claystones. On the right is a slump fold and two associated faults. In this video, we are on the southern side of the Point Fortin Highway, and we are moving along an access road that parallels the highway. Initially, we see on the left slumped oil sands, later with more massive units. On the right, the outcrop begins with slumped sands alternating with parallel to subparallel sands and claystones. Finally, looking west, we see the highway being built through a hill at Parrylands. There is also quarrying of this oil sand outcrop that was being used as fill for the ramps of the Mont Desiree interchange. Also note that we see parallel bedded sands and claystones that have a strike of 310 degrees. This is very different from the anticipated strike of the Kugler map. In this second video, we're on the north side of the highway and we see a number of slump pools. On the left, we have a ground view of the slump sediments. Leonard Blackman in the background provides a scale. On the right, we have parallel laminated silt sands, silts, and clay stones. The sands are oil impregnated, and the rocks dip 30 degrees to the south. At the top right are trough cross-bedded oil impregnated sands, while on the left are wet sands within oil impregnated units. On the bottom are slump clay stones and thin sands. The orientation of these slump poles may be able to indicate the down basin direction. At the top left, we have an oil sand dominated by northeast to southwest trending fractures. On the bottom left, we have alternating parallel bedded sand and clay stones. On the right, we have slumped thin sands and clay stones. Note the 100% sand that appears to erode into this unit. This is an outcrop of alternating parallel to subparallel bedded and laminated sands and clay stones. A large slump fold is present in the middle of the outcrop, and it was being excavated for use as fill at the Mont Désir interchange. So this outcrop will not be present today at this location. On the left, we have disarticulated bivalves that probably represent an erosional lag. The horizontal burrows on the right appear to be ophiomorpha, as one can see pellets lining the burrow walls. These indicate a sandy, nearshore, shallow marine environment of deposition.